How's it going, everyone? KayneHunterTaker here, and welcome back to an episode of Kayne's Bedtime. It's been a while since I recorded one of these. The last one I uploaded, it doesn't feel like forever, but yeah, I recorded that a while ago because I didn't want to have possible spoilers for a game I was playing. I thought once I finish the game and the playthrough, I will then make the video live, so it feels like it's been a while since I recorded one, but here we are. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about, and tell you what, we'll get this one out of the way. Take a shot for every episode of Kayne's Bedtime that we're on a lockdown. Okay, technically the lockdown's over, but yeah, it's been a bit of a hectic week. We had a confirmed case of COVID. They had gone to Sydney, then they come back, and at first they were okay. Apparently they tested and were fine to go, but they didn't feel too good after. They went back and got retested and they had it. And at first we just had the masks, but then more cases happened, were showing up and decided, yeah, we're locking down. So it's been a fun old week. I just remember we were at work. It was me and Luke split weekend on the Sunday. We were all on our lunch break and we were all watching the news like, oh, is something going to happen? Are we going to go on a lockdown? And the nurse was saying that, like the nurse who was on our side, look, until we get confirmation from management, don't panic, we're okay, let's just get on with the shift and, you know, don't let it bother us too much. Well. So after I served lunch to the residents, it was about 1 o'clock. It's when I normally start doing dishes because I knock off at 2, come back at 4. So it's my favourite time because it's very quiet and boring, just plotting along, getting things done. The same nurse comes back, she has a bag and pulls out a mask, and I'm like, no. And she's like, yes. Just got email and confirmation from management to start wearing a mask and just gear up, and I thought, fuck, damn it. So yeah, that was the Sunday, and I think that same night, got an email from works. See, because we got work email, so if anything like this happens, we get notified as soon as possible because work in aged care. It was about 9:30, or I actually forget when the lockdown happened, but we got the email letting us know we are on the lockdown, and yeah, the whole week's been a bit sort of boring, really. I've just been catching up on a lot of stuff, and yeah, so as I'm recording this, Sunday night, so the Saturday the lockdown was eased, but me and Luke are really bummed out. It's been a full-on couple of months just with major things. I mean, I had to get dentist appointments done. First lockdown happened, had to push the dentist appointment. Then a tyre blew out, so it's like just everyday things, just slapping you in the face kind of thing. And me and Luke finally were like, right, that's it. All of the stress is done. We can just kick back and relax. This Friday we're going to have a big retro video game hunt day where, see, we not locked down, god damn it. We ripped down every single video game retro store in our area, and we were just going to hit them all, go to each store, saving our favourite one till last, which is the one we always normally go to, and just do a good old retro video game hunt. And we were looking forward to it. Well, the lockdown happened, and it was like, what's the other thing? The travelling distance. We could only go 5Ks. Oh, we couldn't even go to the comic shop. It was just a very rough old week. We just couldn't do anything that we planned, and so that night the family just ordered a fuckload of Chinese food, and I was just on my computer watching TV and catching up on shows that I haven't watched. I just started finally started Punisher Season 2. I'm not actually going to talk about it in this episode. I'm going to do it in the next episode because I'm just sort of binge throwing, and it started off slow, but yeah, it's pretty good now. I'm quite enjoying it, but yeah, it's just been a very boring week. I mean, 3 days off and couldn't do anything. It's just, I know that's, you know, very stupid of me to say when I got all these games, but it's when you plan something and it sort of goes. And Friday's always comic day as well, so I couldn't even, you know, do a collector's own haul for this fortnight, so really bummed out, but everything's good at the moment. We haven't had any more cases as of yet, tap wood, and we've done alright. I mean, Sydney's been swamped with cases. It's like, it's in the tens every day, whereas over here in WA we've been pretty good. So yeah, fingers crossed we'll get through this. I know I should, but I'm just so... You make a joke about it last year, but now it's like fucking real. I still haven't got my jab. It's not that I don't want to get it, I just want to wait as long as I can. I mean, now in aged care it's mandatory, especially over 60s, to like people over 60 have to get it. So I'm just sort of waiting it out as much as I can for my holiday, because if something happens, then at least I'm on holiday and I don't possibly risk. Because this is the thing, a lot of people, now this is just me from what I've got and what facts I've read, this person that come back infected, they did all the right stuff, got tested, they were fine. However, they didn't do, well, they were told they were fine, they could go. They didn't do the quarantine for 2 weeks when coming back. Now, it's a what if scenario. If they had stayed, would they have been okay? We can't just start pointing fingers, but I want to be in a situation where if I get it, I don't want to be in my area possibly spreading it. So I'm definitely getting it. I'm just trying to wait it out as much as I can, but as soon as I get the notice that because they do come to our facility to do it, as soon as that happens, I'm doing it, I'm signing my name in. But what just freaked me out, I mean, I know it's like, there's different fucking flavours of this vaccine. You know, there's certain ones with different stuff in it. When people were dying, it's just like, okay, this is real now. This is legit. So yeah, it's just been on the back of my mind that I do want to get it, and plus I got the flu jab recently, so you have to wait a little bit because I wanted that first before getting all that. So yeah, I tell you what, that's enough for COVID. Just thought I'd let you know that this week's sort of a bit of a blowout really, and hope for next fortnight we can you know, do the big old retro gaming hunt. So yeah, on to the other stuff. I just remembered I've actually got another sort of negative topic. It's actually, I just remembered the reason why I didn't do a lot of recordings. My one of my port hard drives blew out. I just don't know what exactly happened, but whenever I was drawing, for some reason this port would disconnect, and so I plug it back in last week or a week, 2 weeks ago. Oh, this hard drive's been damaged, repair it. And I thought, oh shit, okay, do the repair. It wasn't going well, so I just shut my computer off, replugged it, and it was working fine. Well then, this week, I was doing something. I thought I would do the repair thing. It failed after 24 hours. It said could not fix, which, you know, typical. Microsoft Windows never fixes anything. But I didn't really notice anything was gone until I decided to open up my... So with my drawings, I've got that really awesome... it's like a shadowed window background that I created, which I really loved. I really liked it with my drawings, and that file can't be opened, cannot be read from the disk. And I was like, oh, shit, okay. Went on to JB, ordered a new... See, this one is still a plug. I've had this since 2011. I should have known better by now, especially with you know, I got this when Windows 7 was still popular, like it's still the main operating system. So I should have known better to upgrade way before. But I bought a 2TB, because that's all it was, a 2TB, just a little sort of portable one with no plug. It doesn't have a power adapter, which is, you know, good. I tell you, that's another thing that could have happened. We did have a really bad power out one day, and that could also be a factor as well. But yeah, it didn't take me too long, but the whole week, because I thought, well, can't go anywhere really, stuck at home until unless I'm going to work. I just spent the entire week just bringing all my documents out, going through shit that I mean, this is a port hard drive for my basic documents. You know, I got my drawings. I've actually got backups of all my drawings, so one on that hard drive, one on my YouTube portable hard drive with all my playthroughs, so if anything happens I got a backup. And then it's just standard documents where, you know, Kayne's bedtime, I'll write notes down for the episode, you know, those kind of documents, if you know what I mean. And so it wasn't a big hassle if I lost anything. And my music, it's my main music fault. So basically nothing on my computer is on there, because just of my computer blowing up a few years ago, I'm sort of skeptical of that now. But yeah, it took me a couple of days to get it all out. Didn't lose much apart from the default background that I have for my drawings. A few songs, but I got the albums. I could just reburn them. But mind you, YouTube I just mainly just listen to YouTube playlists now, so it's not a big hassle. So it wasn't like a, how do I put it? Heartbreaking. I know the feeling when you got your port hard drive. You think you're fine. It's never going to break, but then the day happens where it does break, and those awesome things that you got on that hard drive's now gone. So I know what it's like, heartbreaking. But this one, it wasn't. It was just it was more of an annoyance, like, you piece of fucking shit. So yeah, got rid of it. Got the new one now, and I'm back to normal. But I didn't want to do any recordings until I did all that, because I wanted to try and see. Another thing that I'm skeptical about is copying things over. I don't like doing. So you say your port hard drive, right click, copy. New hard drive, paste. I bought a 10 terabyte one a couple of years ago. This was before I bought my red and blue ports for my YouTube stuff. I spent the whole day transferring everything, and the bloody thing blew up. It's like I couldn't handle it, so I took it back and got two. Sorry, I'm just pointing to them over here. Got my blue one there, my red one here. Swapped them over for that. So now I got this thing now where I can't just do the whole thing. I got to do documents, music, pictures, drawings, that kind of stuff. So yeah, got that all done and back to normal now. And yeah, that's it. So this week I'm finally going to get back onto my routine where, recording, editing, because this week, once something like that happens, it's like that's your main focus. And yeah, all good now. Right, on to the good stuff. Oh god, see now that mask, my throat's flaring up now because I'm okie dokie. I'm going to need my phone for this one because I'm actually very excited because I've watched a lot of TV and I'd only just write down little points and then talk about it. I've actually done little paragraphs now so I can talk about the episode and then throw my input. I'm really excited to do it. So to kick that off, hang on, give me a minute. Where is it? Here we go. Right, X-Files season 1 finished. Got through the whole of season 1. I did episode 19 to episode 24. So that's it for season 1, and holy shit, can't wait to start season 2. So episode 19. A farmer kills a Native American by a mistake after thinking he was an animal. Redo. A farmer kills a Native American by mistake after thinking he was an animal attacking his cattle. So at the beginning of the scene, it's like a beast, but then when he shoots it, turns out it's a human being. So, oh shit. The sister of the person wants revenge, but she finds the body of the farmer completely ripped to shreds. It's like an animal got him, like the animal that Mulder and Scully are supposedly hunting for. All these reports are happening, and it's like something like a beast has taken all these people out, but no sign of it. Then the sheriff, who's also native, it's a I forget where it's set. It's where it's a Native American culture kind of place, which it looks really cool. Like I'd like to go and visit there, that kind of thing. So the sheriff's helping with the investigation and takes Mulder to an elder native, and he tells the stories. I forget what a Manito. It's like the half man, half beast. And I thought it was a werewolf they were talking about, but nah, it's this Minotaur. I always used to say, I think it's, if I got it right, I always used to say Minotaur. Now I know. So he's telling the story that this beast, it can be like the reason, because there was a case beforehand where sort of the same events happened, but then there'd be a period of time where nothing would happen. What it was, so the main creature was dead, but it passes through bloodlines, so the son of this creature is now able to transform. So then what ends up happening, so they assume it's the sister of the brother because bloodline. Well, it's revealed that the farmer's son is the beast. He was attacked by the original beast at the beginning of the episode, and so he was infected. So he ended up killing his father, and he was sort of the reports that were happening around areas, like things of being sort of damaged. And so yeah, that was a pretty good episode. I'd say, sorry, lolly, stuck on my gum. I love Native American culture when it comes to movies and TV shows. It's, I don't know what it is about. I mean, if you can see, I have right there a Native American. He's holding his spear up with a an eagle, because that, when I was growing up, I really loved that sort of culture. And my room was sort of like, I had a nice picture of a wolf. I still got that picture somewhere, but it broke. I don't know what it was that I was into at the time that made me really love it. And yeah, I had that since I was 10, still got it to this day. Luke actually had one with a wolf, if I recall. My mum and dad bought us it, and yeah, they told us that because we also suffered like with nightmares. I was always a scaredy cat and in the dark. So what they would do, they'd put that beside my bed, and they would say that he would protect me, and he's done a good job. I'm still here. Yeah, I wouldn't mind. That's, you know, travelled through so much stuff and still got it to this day. I'm so, you know, happy to still have it. Ernest Goes to Camp was another one I really like, with the whole sort of Indian Native American sort of a story into that story kind of thing. I'm trying to think what I watched when I was a kid that made me so invested in it. I can't remember now. Episode 20. My favourite episode by far. I really enjoyed it. 30 loggers go missing after being attacked by some unknown phenomenon. A similar event occurred many years ago. It is revealed an ancient tree over 500 years old was cut down by the loggers when they shouldn't have. It then unleashed radioactive spiders. They were like little spiders that were living inside the tree this whole time. So this episode just had everything I love with something scary. It's in a forest, the spider is the main threat, and in an isolated environment, like no one will help you if you're in trouble. And so the episode starts off with, so all these loggers are they're in danger, they're trying to get away, and then it's like green mist flows down and supposedly kills them. So Mulder and Scully travel to that area, and picked up by I think a rookie cop, not a rookie, but he was on the force, and a captain or a sheriff. So he knew where to take them, that kind of stuff, and their car ends up being snared by a trap by an eco-terrorist. Is that what they're called? So basically, this episode's very eco discussion. You know, you can't destroy the environment, we will stop you, that kind of thing. So the loggers are being attacked supposedly by these people that are trying to, you know, save the environment, and they start putting all these traps out to try and stop them, which they end up, I believe, being caught by one. I think it ends up blowing out their tyre. I can't remember. But anyway, so they make their way to the cabin before nightfall. There's just no one around. The camp's destroyed, and pretty much just, well, let's get to work. Let's find out what happened. So Scully and the rookie, I'm just going to name him the rookie because that's it. It's like, so you got the superior, the guy underneath, so the rookie, and they find this weird sort of like white thing tied up against two trees. They bring it down, and I'm like, oh, if I know my games with certain games like Blood Omen 2, with this certain moment in the game, I know exactly what's in there. They rip it open, it's a mummified corpse, drained of their fluid, and judging by their outfit, it was a logger. I thought, oh, this is gonna be wicked. I'm getting all into it now. And I believe Mulder and if I can remember, the captain, they find a guy in their cabin rummaging through it, like looking for supplies. Turns out it's one of the eco-terrorist guys with his camp that were trying to stop them. And he's like telling them, there's something out there, man. There's just something out there. It killed them all. But he was trying to get back to his camp, if that's true, because you never actually saw the camp. So he was trying to look for a ride, and he was going to take this truck, but everything's out of order. So everything was sabotaged. So then he takes them and shows them this tree, like ancient tree that I mentioned, and it was cut down. So I believe Scully takes a sample of it and starts checking it and everything. Now I'm just trying to remember what happened after that. So they're worried about the corpse and everything, and then the dude they found ends up telling them that there's something out there and it hates the light. So obviously they're in the house, they got the light going, they're trying to make sure the engine outside doesn't run out, and he's telling them, you can't go out at night, it'll kill you. So then the sheriff's all bullshit. He's a terrorist. He's an eco-terrorist. Sorry, swallowed by mistake. Yeah, he's the one that killed everyone. Let's just take him in. I've had enough of this. And everyone's saying, we can't go out there. If he's telling the truth, we're in trouble. And Scully, I believe, finds out about the little spiders when she was checking the results. And she was like, fuck this, I'm out. This is ridiculous. I'm going to get the car and we're getting out of here. Well, he ends up being attacked and he gets killed by the spiders. And it's one of those episodes where you start really getting itchy. So he disappears, and then the remaining crew, what happened? Oh, Scully can see in the corner this green glowing light, and the spiders are in the shadow. There's a bit of the door that's covered in a shadow and they can't pass it because of the light. Then it's revealed that everyone is covered in them, but because they're in the light, they fall asleep. They can't do anything. So Scully's freaking out, and by the end of it, they end up saying, we gotta go because the generator's about to run out, and the guy they found, he ended up taking the car, convincing Mulder that he'll come back because he has to save his people. They get down to the car where the sheriff went and they find his corpse and he didn't make it. So they start getting out because, we got to get out as soon as we can. Then they meet the other guy. No, they didn't get the car started in the end. He met up with them and he says he's cammed in, make it, let's get out of here. But this is where I got a bit, hang on a minute. They went against their sort of, their plot. So they're driving away and end up snaring in a trap. So, poetry in motion of ironic, ends up running in his own trap. He's trying to get it off, but then he starts being attacked. But they made it perfectly clear that these bugs or spiders don't like the light. As soon as the light's on them, they can't do anything. This guy's standing in front of a car with the headlights on, and he's being attacked. It's like, did the plot just change all of a sudden? So we don't know what happened to him. He ended up running off and we don't hear about him again. And it gets pretty scary because Scully, Mulder and the other cop, they end up being cocooned. It's like, oh shit, they might die. But what ended up happening, Mulder made a call to try and get help, and this organisation, I forget what it's called, when there's like a chemical spill or something sort of viral, they come in and clear it up. So they arrived and saved them, and that's the end of the episode. And God, I really like that episode. It's one episode I will recommend anyone to watch, because this is like, all those top channel, like scary content channels where it's, top 3, I can't even, school horror stories, blah, blah. I always love when they do camping or forest. As soon as that's in the picture, I'm like, I'm in. I forgot to say, the reason the spiders were sort of supernatural radioactive, apparently a volcano erupted and they made refuge into the tree and it ended up transforming them. I actually forgot exactly what happened, but still creepy nonetheless. Episode 21. The return of Eugene, the guy who was eating the livers and needed to eat 5 so he could hibernate for like 30 years. He's released into society after his doctor convinced the judges he is no longer a danger to society. Mulder is not convinced and keeps watch on him while Scully tries to find evidence against Eugene if he was responsible for a murder back in 1930 to put him back in prison. This one was pretty straightforward. I actually really like that they brought a previous character back in. So he gets out, there's nothing wrong with me, you can't arrest me, blah blah blah. But Mulder's keeping tabs on him, making sure he doesn't, and he almost come close to killing someone. But then Eugene ended up sneaking into Mulder's apartment, beating himself up and framing Mulder so then he can't come within a certain distance of him. But then Scully manages to find evidence that Eugene did kill someone, and basically it's a matter of arresting him now. Well, at the same time, he ended up killing his doctor that got him out of prison, ripped out his liver. You know, I'm satisfied, I'm going to hibernate, and he ends up hibernating in this hotel or mall. He's under an escalator and got a little bit claustrophobic in the end when Mulder had to crawl in and he found his cocoon, or his sort of malted sort of bedroom. But he ends up attacking Mulder, but then gets pretty intense because he ends up pressing the button for the escalator to turn on, and Eugene's just minced alive. And yeah, that's it for that case. It's case closed because Eugene is dead. Episode 22. I really struggled with this episode, and it was kind of a rehash in a way from a previous one. The poltergeist helping that woman out. So a ghost of a murdered police officer vows revenge after he was murdered by colleagues when refusing to take dirty money. So they did something and he was like, no, this isn't right, we're police officers, I'm going to arrest you. Bang. No, you're not. And then he takes control of a young girl, but I can't remember. So the girl wasn't his daughter, but she was the daughter of this woman he was in a relationship with. I wasn't too sure. But anyway, so he takes control of the young girl and she manages to kill off two of the cops, like telekinetically, like she was able to sort of, or he was able to sort of kill them with supernatural powers. And the third guy, he's convinced not to do it. He ends up, not doing it in the end. And the girl's fine. She's not possessed anymore. But what else happened? Oh, that's it. I didn't make any other notes. I did put a note down. So the female officer that finds the little girl is, I forgot her name. The actress who plays Janice in Friends, the woman Chandler was dating. So I didn't realise she put on that voice. I know it was sort of put on, but I didn't realise that she was very sort of smooth in her voice. It was really weird, hearing, but yeah, it wasn't my favourite episode. There was too much plot going on for just a little episode, and like I said, it was kind of rehashed from a previous episode, so yeah, not my favourite. Episode 23, Roland, an autistic man, he murders two scientists working on a new jet engine and is continuing the work of another scientist, Arthur, who died recently. It turns out that Arthur is the twin brother of Roland. They were split up at a young age, and yeah, Arthur is this super genius while Roland, he's got autism and he lives in a home with other people of his condition, but then he's sort of it's like he's getting these visions, and it's like the visions are telling him what to do. So if it's telling him to hit this person, he's going to do it. So it's revealed that the twin who died, who was working on this project, they preserved his head and frozen, I forget the term, it's like in a tank. So and because they're twins, they're somehow, still connected, like telepathically, if that's the term. So Arthur, while being a frozen head, is telling Roland what to do, like to prevent this from happening. But what really angered him was another scientist. I think he was like the head scientist. He ended up taking the credit for the project and being so close. So that angered Arthur, and he was using Roland to sort of, if I couldn't have my project, no one else is. But Mulder ends up convincing Roland, don't go through this, don't let him control you, you are stronger and you're better than him, don't let him do it. And yeah, he ends up sort of breaking that path away and ends up saving the scientist dude's life. And then there was a scene at the end where he was doing his hair, and it was sort of similar to his twin, but then it's like, is he still controlled? But he ended up not doing it in the end. And then also what ended up happening, the head scientist, he knew about what was going on, and he turned Arthur's sort of life support off. Like the tank was not being frozen anymore, and the head ends up dying. But I really enjoyed that episode. It was actually really good, and I decided to look up the actor playing Roland. He just did a really good job of portraying someone with autism. It was really, I really thought he had it, and I was like, wow, that's That's amazing how he pulled it off. Okie dokie, Act 24, this is a big one. This is the final episode. This is basically the main meat of the series. So the previous episodes are sort of like the filler of the show, and this one is where it follows the main story. So there's a police chase occurring, and it ends abruptly when the runner jumps into water and vanishes. They can't find the body. Well, it turns out that he was able to breathe underwater, so he stayed underwater for 3 days until the cops gave up on him and he was able to escape. Mulder ends up tracking him down, but he's taken out by, I don't remember the name of the corporation, but I call them the Men in Black, because they're essentially trying to cover up anything to do with sort of unnatural beings. So they end up killing the guy and take Mulder hostage, and we learn that the guy is now, pardon me if I get this wrong, he's a genome experiment who is not supposed to live. He, along with other subjects, they had life-threatening illnesses, so it's like, well, you're gonna die, so can we use you to, work on this? I think they want to work on a cure to sort of rid the diseases, and what ended up happening was, he was let out, he was fine, he survived his illness, but then what ended up happening was they weren't intending him to live that long. They were hoping he'd sort of deteriorated and just died, so then they could, write down, right, the test worked, but this is what's going to happen, so, well, we got to clean up the mess. We can't have him walking around, because if he gets hurt and he goes to a hospital, they're not going to know, what's his blood type, because it's not natural what they put in him. And whenever he gets cut, it's like air comes out of him, and it's very, I don't know if it's like acid or something, but when he has his sort of insides revealed, it just lets off a gas like a bacteria. And then what we learn is, so Scully figures out that they were working on this bacteria infection, so they were putting it in these people to see how they could combat, if I recall, like illnesses and stuff. So she gets her friend to do testing on this bacteria, and the DNA ends up showing 2 strands of DNA. The bacteria shows 2 strands of DNA, sorry, that's not normal. It just doesn't exist in this world. If I remember, there's 4. So if you cut me open and take a bit of my DNA, I got 4 strands. Sorry, I'm not a scientist. I'm trying my best to explain it, but no. In this world, there are 4 strands of DNA. So me, animal, something else, blah, 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 plants, that kind of thing. Well, there's 2 new strands, and they just don't exist. We learn it's extraterrestrial. It has to be, and Scully starts to believe Mulder might be right this whole time. She eventually meets up with Deep Throat for the first time, like her proper meet up and conversation, and he tells her that Mulder's been held hostage because he discovered the experiments and then tried to help the guy, but then they took him out and they took him. So he said, look, you got to give them what they want. Get what they want, trade it for Mulder's life. You have to do this for him, kind of thing. So she ends up breaking into the lab and gets the bacteria. She opens it up. Lo and behold, is an alien fetus. It kind of made me go, oh, okay, I wasn't expecting that. I thought it was just going to be some like weird vial of bacteria, but no, it's a proper alien life form that crashed on Earth, and they retrieved it and started doing experiments on it. So she has the thing and she wants to make the trade, but Deep Throat is telling her, no, they expect me to do it. If they expect you, they might be suspicious and they'll kill Mulder. You got to let me do it. I have to be the one to do it. So he makes the trade. All of a sudden, bang! Deep Throat is gone. They take him out, they shoot him. He doesn't make it, and Mulder's pushed out the van, and the trade is done. The Men in Black got what they wanted, and Scully got what she wanted. Mulder's life. Saved him. But Deep Throat, because he was working for this corporation, they knew what he was doing, so they had to take him out, and he knew Scully would die. Well, that's what I assume anyway, and that's the end of the episode. However, Scully receives a call from Mulder in the middle of the night, and he informs her the X-Files has been shut down. End of season. Oh god, a few little dud episodes in that season, but I really had fun with it, especially that loggers episode where, you know, the radioactive spiders, and yeah, what a way to finish it off, and I cannot wait to start season 2. Cannot wait. I quite like doing it that way. Normally before I just write little bullet points and then just talk about it. That was a really good way to sort of read off from and talk about the episodes. Now, unfortunately, I didn't do it with this because it was just too late. So last fortnight, yes, I just spent the whole day of Saturday binge watching Jurassic World KayneHunterTaker Season 3, and what a day that was. I bought pizza, just a shit ton of drink, and just sat on my ass and watched the whole season in one go, and that was a fun day. Because like I said, with just this past few months with so much shit going on, this was the day I just thought, I'm going to sit down and relax and just catch up on some shows. And yeah, Jurassic World, you know, KayneHunterTaker Season 3, that was my choice for binge watching, and yeah, really good, and cannot wait for Season 4, and I hope we see the Spinosaurus, because the way they sort of left the island, I reckon they're going to head to Site B, and hopefully we see a Spino, because despite the controversy with the Spinosaurus, one of my favourite dinosaurs, really love the Spino, and when Jurassic World Evolution, when I reached the island with the Spinosauruses, I caged that bitch up quickly to, excusez-moi, that burp out of nowhere, and yeah, start trying to, build a habitat around that, and yeah, hopefully Season 4, come on. Alright, so I made a list on what shows I'm wanting to finish, so then I can start a new one. Big Bang Season 9, I talked about a few episodes in a few bedtimes, but sort of took a break, but it's just a show I'll watch for 20 minutes, so it's easy to sort of get through. So I was up to episode 16. I completely forgot Bernadette's pregnant. In the episode before, she talks to a rabbit, we won't tell Howie I'm pregnant just yet. So in this episode, she tells Howard she's pregnant. So at first Howard's worried, it's normal behaviour, oh my god, I'm going to be a dad, this is real, this shit's real. But he's worried because of money. See, it's so weird hearing about an engineer really struggling to pay bills, and so he's basically, I got to be a good father, because I actually forget now that I was just starting to think about it, because his dad wasn't part of his life, so he wants to be a good father to this kid. So the boys, actually the boys, don't know why, take him out to celebrate. You're going to be a dad, let's celebrate. And what ends up happening, Leonard and Sheldon talk about this project they're working on, but they don't know how to proceed with it. Well, all of a sudden, Howard at the end, after he's sort of ran, what am I going to do? I've got to come up with ideas to make money. He figures out a way to sort of proceed with the project, and the other two are like, you might be onto something here. And yeah, the episode ends up on a high note that, things are going to look okay for Howard. And then, I forgot what the girls were doing. They were just sort of talking to Bernadette about, about the baby, and I actually forgot what they were doing. Can't really remember. Episode 17, Sheldon's birthday. I actually really liked this episode. It just felt quite... It was just nice. It was a really... So there wasn't really any bad moment. I mean, there is a sort of bad moment in it, but it wasn't so... Like, Season 1, 2, 3, and 4 were good. Season 1's my favourite too and all that. But then when it started, it dipped down a little bit, and only a few episodes I really liked. This is one of those episodes that I really like and I'll probably rewatch. So, it's Sheldon's birthday, but he never celebrates his birthday. He's just, it's just nothing worth celebrating. He knows he's, a gift to the world. He doesn't want to celebrate it every year, but we learn that what it was, because his twin sister, they both share the birthday. Because he didn't have any friends, he didn't have anyone to invite. Well, the thing is, he was happy about that. He didn't like other kids. Science is his friend. But what ended up happening was his sister's friends and her would pick on him on the birthday. And one bad moment was they convinced him Batman was coming, and when the big moment was going to happen, he wasn't there. So it's a bit like a sore subject for Sheldon. But in the end, the gang convince him to, come on, let's throw your birthday party. Let's just throw you one and see how you go. And he's like, oh, all right. And then my phone shut off. But so after some organisation and managing to get Adam West, I forgot Adam West died. So this must have been a couple of years or a year after he passed. So they get Adam West, Batman, to rock up for Sheldon's party, and a bit of a funny conversation. They're all discussing who's the best Batman, and so Christian Bale's the best Batman, Michael Keaton, and Adam West is like, well, I didn't need muscles to be Batman. And then they all say, can we all just agree that George Clooney was the shittiest Batman? And it was like, yeah. So that was quite funny. And then the big day happened, and Sheldon's all, oh, okay, this is it. But he ends up getting cold feet because it's just too much for him. And there was a nice moment with him and Penny. She's talking to him, Honestly, I feel bad because if it had been me at your age when, you're having a birthday party, I wouldn't have rocked up. But today I would love to go to your birthday party because you're a good friend of mine. And she ends up convincing him to come outside, and they all share a good moment with him, telling him favourite stories about Sheldon, and it was just a really feel-good episode. I really liked it. Alright, this is where... So I was literally writing little paragraphs out, and now they're getting quite long, so... Sheldon, Leonard and Howard agree to... So this is episode 18. They agree to work on this new project and split the profits, but they refuse to sign with the university because they want 75%. And then the striking blow is Howard, because he's only an engineer. He won't get a dime. So I was like, well, that's fucking bullshit. So they leave, and they sort of, go through the agreements, and it turns out that the university's right, that, 75% you use our resources and you get whatever's left. And so they agree, the three of them, they'll make a pact. So whatever profit they earn, it's split equal 3. So even though Howard's not going to get anything, he will get a share of Leonard and Howard's respected profit. So Sheldon's all excited. He loves writing up contracts. He wants to write up a contract, and everything seems good. But then there's a rift when Bernadette and all the girls rock up, and Bernadette's like, oh, have you got a lawyer to read that contract? And Howard's like, what are you doing? Do you not want me to make money? And he gets angry because she's sort of ruining the fun. You can't sign this. This is ridiculous and all that stuff. But then Howard makes a remark, this is for the money. What about our kid? I need to make money. But Bernadette's like, it's not about the money. It's Sheldon. Every time you work on a project with him, he belittles you, he disrespects you, he makes you feel, worthless. Why would you go through that? And Howard's like, you're right, that happens every time. So he confronts Sheldon about it. I'm not going to have you belittle me all the time. I'm just not going to put up with it. So Sheldon's like, okay, I'll change the contract. And he's all excited because now he gets to update the contract. He's very excited about contracts. So they reach a mutual agreement. Sheldon agrees that under no circumstances he's not going to belittle Howard, treat him like beneath everyone. Everyone is going to be equal partnership, and no one's going to disrespect each other, and everyone's happy with that. But the most heartwarming moment of it all was, so after all that, Penny notices another change, and Sheldon written the contract that a part of his profit is going to go towards a scholarship fund for Howard and Bernadette's baby. And I was like, oh, you big softy. So that was a nice heartwarming episode as well. And oh yeah, and meanwhile Raj is stuck between wanting to get back with Emily or staying away, because so he's back and forth with this bartender, and she's like, dude, this is classic women, I should know, I'm a woman. She's just trying to get back with you, sending you this nice gift. And Raj is like, oh, I don't know, maybe she does want to get back, maybe we can make it work. So in the end he tells Emily, and she's trying to, oh, I miss you. And Raj is like, I'm sorry, I just cannot, it just can't work. Spoiler alert, he ends up sleeping with her. So I was like, fucking hell, Raj. Alright, we had a Friends sort of reference episode. So episode 19, not 19 years. So after years of use, Sheldon's laptop dies, and I believe it's the one he gets when the apartment gets robbed, and that's his new laptop he uses. So Amy ends up purchasing him a new one, but he's all like, laptops are personal. I can't just rely on what you just picked up. But then she tells him that it was from a guy that he trusts. So he's like, oh, all right, you're fine. Thank you. 4K laptop, brilliant. So then she wants to throw it away. Old laptop, it's gone. Let's throw it away. And Sheldon refuses. He's like, no, we can't do that. It's just no. So Amy's what's wrong with you? Why? It's just a laptop, and why do you want to keep it if it doesn't work? So he ends up taking her all this way, miles away, to this storage unit. He opens it up, and everything he's ever owned, whether still working or broken, he has kept this whole time, including his toothbrushes. So he's got a hoarding problem, and it just reminded me of the episode of Friends when Monica, she's this cleaning freak, but then this closet that's never been opened, Chandler gets it open, and it's just a mess, and it's like, oh, so you're this clean freak, and look at the state of that. You're never supposed to find out. But yeah, Sheldon's a hoarder, and normally he's not, one to keep rubbish or trash. So what ends up happening? So into that section. So Howard and Leonard are working on their project, and Penny and Bernadette arrive to sort of see how they're going, and they want to help, so they get all excited to help out. The guys end up ducking out because they ran out of this soldering metal. But what ends up happening, they come across this movie premiere, and the guy's telling them, oh, it's a new Will Smith movie. You want to come along? And Leonard's like, oh, we got to really get back. And they think about Suicide Squad, because could be because of Will Smith in that movie, and it could be that. And turns out it is. So they end up lying and saying, oh, we've got to tie a flat, to Bernadette and Penny. We won't be back for a while, and so don't wait up. Just continue what you're doing, and we'll be there as soon as we can. And they enjoy the movie, and Howard messages Raj, guess what movie I'm seeing? Gonna spoil it. Not realising that Raj rocked up to the university because he had nothing better to do on his day off, and his mate hates him. He meets up with Penny and Bernadette, and he spills the beans on what they were doing. So now they want to get even and say, oh, we're going to tell them off. So they plan it, we're going to tell them off. So Raj hides in the closet to catch them out on their lie. But the plan fails because Leonard and Howard come back, and they have flowers and gifts. We're sorry, we lied. We didn't have a flat tire. We went and saw a movie, and we're very, very sorry. Let's make it up to you. We'll take you out for dinner. And so they're all like, oh, you're so sweet. And then Roger's like, no, I wanted to catch them out. That's not fair. So yeah, that's the end of that sort of moment. And what else? Oh, so back to Amy and Sheldon. Amy helps him sort of get over it. You got all this stuff. Do you possibly need it? So she tells him, look, just pick one thing. Just pick one little thing and throw it in the trash. And just over time, you will get over this thing. So he ends up picking a golf ball that his brother pitched at his head when he was a kid. And so he throws it in the trash, and it's like, I did it. So Amy's all proud of him. Well done, top job. So let's go. Let's get out of here before you sort of get second thoughts. So it's like, oh just let me lock up. So he locks it up. He rolls the golf ball back inside. Oh, cheeky Sheldon. So yeah, that's the end of that episode. Alright, that's it for TV. I got some WWE Network highlights just when I'm exercising. I'll watch the network. So No Way 8 to 1000. Big Show beats The Rock with help of Shane McMahon. Wow, I was a bit shocked with that. I couldn't believe it. I thought it was going to be, The Rock, but I forgot that Big Show is the one that goes to WrestleMania. But then it's that 4-way match, if I remember. Triple H beats Cactus Jack and Hell in a Cell. That was a good match. I'm sure his King of Kings DVD had that match, but I can't remember because I cannot remember watching that match at all. So it was a nice treat to sort of watch again. Mae Young gives birth to Hand. Who the fuck came up with that storyline? Jesus Christ. DX beats up Mr. Ass, and yeah, I think because he has an injury, so they rid him off. But I don't know if he ever comes back to DX. Shane cost The Rock again for his match to be in Mania. Oh, here's a good one. Jeff Hardy versus Essa for the light heavyweight title. Lita cost him the match, and they will argue. it's very weird seeing Lita not with Team Extreme. I always forget that she was with Esarios at the time before, debuting. I mean, technically she was a hoe for Godfather first, but she wasn't with the Hardy Boys. So, yeah, I was like, oh wow, never mind. I keep forgetting about that. So, but I don't think it's very long until she does join them. It's not long at all. Another good one. Crash Holly enables a 24/7 rule for the hardcore title. Can we just take a minute just to appreciate how much of a national treasure Crash Holly is? He's so much fun to watch. I'm never bored with his work. His in-ring ability was just fantastic, and just a shame we lost him so soon. So to finally see the 24/7 rule happen, it's just awesome. Really loved Crash Holly. APA have ads. They're funny as hell. Oh, we need beer money. What are we gonna do? Do you need protection? Call the Act Like Protection Agency. So that was always funny. What else? Oh, where am I? Oh, APA. Yo, this match, I forgot what date it was. I think it was the SmackDown after No Way Out. Kurt Angle versus Sergeant Slaughter. That match, though short, was so good. I really enjoyed this match. Sergeant Slaughter took so many bumps. There was one moment where Kurt threw him into the corner and he just jumps over as if he got sort of tossed out and landed outside. He took a nasty bump, but Kurt, because Sergeant Slaughter's not really in his prime anymore, Kurt made him look good. Sergeant Slaughter just did tremendous for what he could do, and I just really enjoyed the match. It was really fun. Dudley Boyz put Mae Young through a table, and if I remember, this is the one where she called Bubba a little bitch because he didn't go full on. So then the next time is the famous one on top of the stage where he puts her through it and then squeezes his leg, and if I remember, I think she farts on him as well. So yeah, that was brutal, and Mae Young's such a champion. Oh, this is very nostalgic to me that I actually want to jump in for a session one night. WWF SmackDown ad, like the video game ads are appearing. Man, I can't believe how old that game is now. So I'm actually tempted just for a night just to jump in and play it. It's got my SmackDown blood going again. Now I'm gonna make notes of this every time it happens. Triple H gets a stink face. I didn't realise he got a stink face from Rikishi. I thought he was always sort of close but never delivered. So I'm keeping tabs now to see who else gets one. Stone Cold, I don't ever remember seeing him get one. Whether he does get one, I'm not too sure. But to see Triple H get one, I was like, oh. Now, I didn't mean to laugh so hard. Crash was facing Viscera for the hardcore title, and he ends up beating him because they break into APA's office. So they beat up Viscera, and he takes over, pins him, and gets the win. Then fucking out of nowhere, Bradshaw just clotheslines the shit out of Crash Holly, and he sold it like a champ. And I also forgot to write down, so the 24/7 rule, the Mid Street Posse are trying to capture the title, so those moments are just so funny. I think that's why I'm sort of liking the 24/7 title at the moment, because it just reminds me of that. Even though I'm not watching WWE anymore, I'm still watching the highlights, and yeah, R-Truth, it just reminds me so much of Crash Holly. He makes that title. Alright everyone, that's it for TV. I've got some games to talk about and other things, but I'm just going to be right back. My camera might change because I'm zoomed in, and every time I turn it off, it zooms back out. I just got to visit the loo quickly. And we're back, and I have played a few games as of late. I haven't done many recordings, but there's one major one that I did. I'll save that when I talk about it. But just on not recording, I got back into SpongeBob Battle of Bikini Bottom. I stopped playing it because, much like my Jedi Fallen Order sort of run of the game, I was too focused on trying to collect everything. Ended up getting frustrated when I was reaching parts that I needed to earn abilities to get through. When I got back into it, I had fun when I wasn't too focused on collecting everything. It was the same thing for this game. I was too busy trying to collect everything in the area, not realising that I had to have certain abilities. So I didn't do that, so I jumped back in. I just ran through the whole thing, and yeah, really enjoyed it. So hopefully I can get through a full run of the game at some point, but it's definitely a game where if I really want to play it, I will, because yeah, it's just, I don't know what it is. Whenever I jump in, I play it. I've had my fill. I won't play it again for a while, but hopefully that won't be the case this time. Alright, I played some more Minecraft Dungeons. I can't remember if I mentioned this game in the previous episode, but I'm pretty sure I did, but I only played a little. Yeah, I only played one mission, but yeah, I've played a ton of this game. I'm really having a good time with it. It's very easy, very simple, but that's what I like, and I love the, oh, I got to do one more run of a dungeon and get this really cool weapon, and I just don't feel frustrated with the game. I don't think I've died yet. I've been pretty good, but it's just, I picked it up just for something different to play, and I've had it on my list for a while, and I'm very happy with it. Very happy. Just I'm still salty with Diablo 3. The fucking, what's that, Error 37. See, I didn't have that, but when I first picked it up, when it first released on PC, there was just so much bullshit with that game that I ended up rage quitting it and never played it. I picked it up for PS4. I still can't go through it, and I don't have the issues now, but it's just, I loved Diablo 2. Went through that game, absolutely loved it. Never finished it, unfortunately. Our computer at the time crashed and lost everything. But Diablo 3 is just, I don't know what it is, and I mean, I'm a sucker for bloody barbarian giant women, and it should be the game for me, running through it with her, and yeah, I just can't get behind it. And just bringing up when I got it on PC, there was just a moment where, I don't think you're going to see, sorry I had to cut there because I couldn't shut the desk. So my computer desk has a keyboard drawer, and because of this game, I punched this drawer so hard, I broke the screws off. I managed to fix it and it's fine, but I don't think I've raged so hard in my life that I know it's very bad, but I was just, the bullshit that happened to me that made that moment happen. So the game, let's just get past the fact that you have to be online to play single player, absolute bullshit. Now at the time, me and Luke, or the family's internet wasn't the best. We would always get kicked at certain moments. It was just, we had bad internet at the time. We're pretty savvy now. Our internet's really good now. Now that me and Luke and the family sort of know what we're doing. But at the time, we just rung up through Telstra, our provider, because we got Foxtel and all that. We got a bundle, so the internet comes with it. So it's just, oh look, we just want internet. How do we get it? How much do we need? Blah, blah, blah. But even with StarCraft 2 at the time, I was always getting kicked, and then you lose your achievements because you're not online, but you could still play the game. Diablo 3, this stupid idea where you got to be online to play single player, to me is the biggest crime in video game history, like not history, but video games of today. Online, required to play single player. It should be illegal. It should be bloody illegal. So, anyway, we've set the field. So you got to be online to play single player. So I'm running through the game. I'm pretty happy with it so far. Nothing major's happened. I never had that Error 37 message because I think I waited a week or so before picking it up. But I was having a good time with the game. Got through Act 1, got onto Act 2 and was just having so much fun with it. Then the moment happened. For some reason, this day I was playing, it was very laggy. Whether the Blizzard were working on the servers and caused lag, or it was just on our internet. So I was just running through this field, like it was like a desert, the Act 2. So I was going through, killing enemies, hit. For some reason, so I'm just surrounded by little enemies, and I thought, oh shit, what's going on? It must be just lagging. So I'll just keep hitting. Dead. And I'm like, what the hell happened? The lag was so bad, the enemies killed me and I didn't know. Every character was just sitting still, and I just died. So I was like, oh, okay. I'll let that go. So I ran all the way back to get my gear. Lagged again at that exact moment. So I'm hitting. So I thought, I know what's happening now. So click. Dead. Punch. Punched my desk. Keyboard thing fell out, like the drawer broke off, and I was like, fuck. So quit the game. uninstalled it, never touched it again. Because the game made me so angry that I broke my desk. I thought, no, I am not going to go through that shit again. So years later, I picked it up for PS4, and there is no lag, and you don't need, I believe you don't need the net for the PlayStation version, but I just can't play it. See, Luke and Dad loved it. They went through the game so much, but just to me, it's still that salty aftertaste that the game made me so angry that I punched my desk, and I thought, I'm not going through that shit again. So, yeah, that's, what was I going with that? Oh, Minecraft Dungeons, because, yeah, Diver 3 made me angry, whereas I'm not angry with that. So, yeah, that's a bit of history for our Sir KayneHunterTaker right there, that I get angry too. Talk about fucking angry. I picked this game up because I love golf. I love the sport. I don't really like playing it, but I love playing video games. I cannot get past that bloody golf course where you got to get it in every single hole in under 40 strokes. What the fuck? And I'm seeing comments, oh, this is a kid's game. Up yours. But I got pretty close. I read it up there. Apparently the best way to get through it is go for the one at the very end and then work your way back, and I got pretty close. I just needed one more stroke. So yeah, apart from that little bullshit moment, really having fun with it. I bought a Mario game for a Mario Golf game for the 3DS, but I got stuck with it. I couldn't get past this hole because every time I got to the end, I was already on a bogey on the main flat of where the hole was, so I never really picked it up again. But I thought I'd pick this one up, and I was having so much fun. I like when you're running to your golf ball, but holy shit, Nintendo, that level was really mean. I'm just a boy. I just want to get through. Tell you what, I've been playing a few Switch games and picked up a few. I finally, after 3 years, I picked up Pokemon Sword. I got the extra edition with the Pokemon expansion pass, and oh, I'm having so much fun with this game. I'm absolutely having a blast with it. It's a real shame because Pokemon Sun and Moon, that was the time period where I just loved Pokemon. Like, everyone was just all over Pokemon. Pokemon Go, the Pokemon card game was just booming again, especially with that Evolution box where the re-release of the base set. That was such a good time to be a Pokemon fan, but Pokemon Sun and Moon, I just didn't really enjoy. I got through most of the game. See, I played through it once, stopped, took me a while to get back in, got back in, and then I just stopped again, and then I never picked it up again. It's a beautiful game. I love that it's set in Hawaii. Like, it's one of my favourite sort of places in the world, Hawaii. Just, Rocket Power, my favourite cartoon. It's, I mean, they're not in Hawaii, but they're from sort of Hawaii. It's all about surfing and all that kind of culture and stuff. And yeah, I just never really wanted to finish it, but picked up this game and I got 3 of the badges. I love the wild areas catching Pokemon, and I'm just having so much of a blast with this game that I keep taking snapshots of moments in the game and putting them on my Instagram. One of my favourite posts is I found a wild moon in a little pond, and it's just looking at me with its 2 beady little eyes, and I posted the emoji with the 2 eyes, hello. So yeah, it's a fun game that I'm sort of, showing my journey through Instagram. It's just, really fun. And I think the biggest part of it is I'm a Brit. I've got English blood in me. I was born in London. I mean, I was 2 months old and I moved to Australia, but deep down, I'm a Brit. So it's definitely the game for me. I ain't got fucking red hair for nothing, that's for sure. Christ, I think I'm British, a little bit of Scottish because my mum's quarter, and I think that's it. I thought I'd show you these because just with the Switch, and I'm actually really happy I bought them. So what I like with the Switch and just handheld in general is how quick you can swap a game out, but I didn't really have a good sort of way to do it. I always had to keep leaving them cartridges in the cases. Well, I picked up these Switch cartridge cases, and They're really cool. I got a Pokeball one. I'm spewing. They ran out of the... See, because it was 2 for... You could buy 2, get 1 free, and they were $15 each, so I thought I'll just pick 3. I got the block from Mario... question block from Mario, because they didn't have any... There was a Creeper one from Minecraft, but they didn't have any left, so I thought, alright, I'll just get a Mario one. And my favourite, of course, I had to pick the umbrella symbol from Resident Evil. And this... See, I don't need... Actually, I think I do. I think I got one in here. Yeah, oh, well, that's fitting. Pokemon Sword. So, yeah, I filled them up pretty quick. Well, this one anyway. And, yeah, there's all my games. And it's really cool, because I can have it on my cube over there while I'm laying down in bed playing it. And if I'm bored of a game, I can just... Whoosh. What do I fancy? I might play... You know, Oddworld. So yeah, I'm very happy to finally have proper. I mean, I bought the it's like a little traveling kit for the Switch, and it had these little pink ones, but it only held 3 of. So you got 2, but it only held 3. So I was like, oh, but there's so many games that I fancy playing, and I just like to have the option to sort of, you know, just freely pick a game that I want to play. And yeah, they're really cool, and I like that in the inside it's foam, like rubber. It's not a hard plastic, which I didn't want, because I didn't want to just snap, trying to pull the game out. Whereas rubber, you can just easily lift it up. So, yeah, if anyone's looking for a thing like... I mean, I'm late to the party, but if anyone's looking for cases there, really good, really recommend it. Jesus Christ, this wearing mask really dried out my... That's why I'm drinking a shit ton of water and popping in Fisherman's Friend lollies, because it helps me throat sort of not swell up, because, yeah, just... When I wear the mask, it just swells up my throat. But yeah, unfortunately not sponsored by Fisherman's Friends, but you got throat problems? I recommend it. Alright, the star of the gaming section for this episode of Kayne's Bedtime, Resident Evil Village, complete. Finally got through it and cannot wait to jump in again to do a second run. I really love this game. It was really, really good, and I'm just excited to go through it again now that I know, you know, the knowledge of what we learned in this game. And holy shit, did we, you know, have a few moments where it's like, oh my god. So from the last episode, Kayne's Bedtime, I reached the house with the doll. That moment with that giant walking fetus, what in the Silent Hell bullshit did that come from? That moment just terrified me. I was sweating terror sweats. Wow, that I was not expecting that. I've played through nearly every Resident Evil game, but that moment right there is now the #1 most scariest part of me just to witness in a Resident Evil game. Right there with the Resident Evil dog jumping through the window in the first game. Oh jeez, it messed me up for a week, because just the idea of a screaming baby and this giant thing following me, it was just, oh, holy crap. Yeah, when I reached that bit and finished for the night and I went to Luke, I'm like, who the hell called that shot? Jesus. And yeah, he was like, I was waiting for you to reach that bit, and geez, when I finished that section I was so happy, because that messed me up a bit. But yeah, then after that we had the giant fish dude. Felt quite bad for him in the end. He was just wanting to impress his, you know, Mother Miranda, and everyone thought he was shit. But yeah, that was a cool moment, running across the platforms and everything, trying to not get eaten. And then what else did I do? What? Oh, when we so after the fish fight, I believe, so I make my way up this little hill and I find the Magnum. I really want a replica of that weapon. It was so cool looking and it just looked awesome. But geez, did I... Another shit my pants moment. So I found it. So I'm crawling out, coast is clear. And I start to hear music. It's like very... It's very Jaws-like in atmosphere. It's like... It's like... What's going on? What's going on? Down the hill, just slowly creeping in, one of those giant wolf lichen creatures, and I'm like, fuck, get back in the house. And it really, the hairs on my neck stood up, and I'm like, oh shit, how am I going to take this out? And that was just such the perfect moment for that setup, and I ended up killing him with the Magnum, took a couple of shots, but whew, did that really make my heart race. But yeah, that was that section. This game really did a good job at scaring me, and I don't normally, I can normally get through Resident Evil games no problem. And did the Heisenberg section. Oh, those Terminator cyborgs were pretty scary. Holy shit. And oh, the first twist. Ethan is dead. This whole time he's been dead. When Jack got him in Resident Evil 7, he killed him. But the mold virus got in him and revived him, and I was like, whoa, holy shit, okay. Things just went from 0 to 100 real quick. So yeah, and then we met Evelyn again. It was like, wow, we're going back now. And so there was that moment, and Ethan did get killed, like Mother Miranda ripped out his heart, but then he was brought back, and so we took over we played as Chris. I thought that was a cool bit, just to run in and gun everything that we could. And then we finally learned some history about Mother Miranda. Apparently she's this scientist, she's doing experiments because she lost her daughter at a young age, and she's trying to find the perfect host to, bring her daughter to life again. And I start to, you're reading through all the books and you start to feel bad for these people we killed, I forgot her name every time. Lady Demi, the big vampire woman, Heisenberg, and the fish dude. All of them had issues with them, like disease and illnesses, and basically they were promised, I will help you, but because they were failed experiments for the host, they were just pretty much weapons for Mother Miranda, and kind of feel bad for them in the end. And then especially Heisenberg, because he didn't want this, he never asked for it, and I could understand why he was upset. But the one note, it just made my mind go. So seeing all these pictures of these men in the snow, and it's like a thank you letter, thank you for everything you've taught me well. I will, I'll never forget you, the knowledge you've taught me. I'm gonna, hopefully build something of it one day, and just thank you very much for taking me as your student. And I'm like, this is very interesting. Where's this going? Signed, Oswald Spencer. The origins of Umbrella are revealed. It made so much sense now while we were seeing the Umbrella symbols in the castle. Oswald was the student of Miranda, and he then went on to make his own company, Umbrella, and that just made my night. I thought, wow, that is amazing. Holy shit. So yeah, that was a really good sort of, I'm glad that moment wasn't spoiled for me, let's put it that way, because I did so well not seeing spoilers, and Luke got spoiled for a couple of things, and I'm just so glad. If there was going to be a spoiler for me for this game, I'm glad it wasn't that, because holy shit, just to finally learn more about Spencer and how he started this whole thing, because it's like full circle in a way. We found his mansion, a viral outbreak happened, we go to this castle decades later, and we finally understand how it all began. And then we learn that the mold from Resident Evil 7 played a key factor in all of this as well. So everything's coming together now. So I had a really good time with this game. And then at the end, Ethan sacrificed himself, and I love it, Ethan. I think he's a great character. When the moment happened where he was deteriorating because he's a mold, and he's like, Chris, go on, look after my family, and then sacrifices himself. And I completely forgot. I forgot about that twist. Mia wasn't Mia. The Mia that got Robocopped in the beginning was Miranda trying to, take Rose away. So Chris didn't kill me. That was just, you know, just a moment where he was trying to protect everyone. So yeah, we learned that bit. And we found Mia in the prison. I was like, oh, thank God she's alive, because that would have broke my heart as well if she had died. Again, 10. So yeah, Ethan sacrifices himself, and I was very emotional about it. I mean, it wasn't like, but it was just like, oh, so sad. And then at the end, the daughter's all grown up, so I look forward to the next game in the series. Chop chop. You've got me on the edge of my seat now. I want to learn more. And the one thing I missed, Luke pointed it out. Did you see the figure in the distance when the car was driving away? And I'm like, no, I didn't see it. And supposedly it was Ethan's model that they used for the animation. So maybe he's not dead. You never know. So that is Resident Evil Village complete. 2 thumbs up from me. I wish we got that first, then Resident Evil 3 Remake, because I feel like 3 Remake was just rushed to sort of postpone this game and just got the shit into the stick. Don't get me wrong, it was a fun game to go through, but geez, they could have done a lot better with that one. I actually forgot to write down, I recorded something else as well. I forgot the name of the game. I've just been craving a few indie games lately. I mean, when I first started YouTube, PC and indie games were my sort of bread and butter. I couldn't record console at the time because I didn't have the capture software or the knowledge for it. I just had fraps, a computer, a brand new computer at the time, and I could record PC stuff, and I played a lot of indie stuff on there. And I just fancied replaying some, not replaying, but just playing them again. And I downloaded, and I think I downloaded the demo. I haven't bought, I don't think it's out yet actually. This dinosaur fossil game, because I've been in the Jurassic Park mood, especially after Kayne Cretaceous Season 3. I was a paleontologist. I was looking for fossils, I was cleaning them up, and I had a good time with it. It was just something different to sort of mix the palette a little bit, because I'm always doing major games on consoles, PS4 and all that, like from AAA companies, and I just fancied something more homely and comforting, you know, someone's passion project, if that makes sense. And I've got a list of games I want to do. I'm actually thinking of doing it like weekly. So one week is, you know, like PS4, Xbox, you know, Resident Evil 8, you know, games like that. And then the next week is PC indie stuff. So I'm looking forward to it. Got so many games on my list to, you know, run through, and cannot wait. Man, I almost ended the game section. Pokemon Go, I nearly forgot. A lot's happened for me in Pokemon Go in this past fortnight. So let's start off with... So there's been a couple of events. I have a couple of new shinies in my collection now. So there was an event recently with Gibble. So there was a load of Gibbles in the wild, and I managed to get a full set of shiny of the evolution. So I got the Gabite and Garchomp. So yeah, that was a really fun day. I love those kind of days where it's just one Pokemon and possibly getting a shiny. And there was also, just recently actually, yesterday, there was the... Where are you? Tippeek! So a load of shinies for that Pokemon. And I also scored the full evolution as well, Pignite. And I really like the shiny for Emboar. The blue flame is really cool. So that's those ones. I'm pretty sure from what I can remember. Hang on, I'll just go back to my camera where I take a picture of my notes because I'm so lazy. Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm on the right track. So I've got all that. The 2 stars for this little section for Pokemon Go. I now have Ho-Oh. I'm so happy. I'm finally starting to get some of the legendaries I've missed. I really wanted Ho-Oh and Lugia, and I feel crappy because when I rage quit at the time, because bullshit, breakthrough discovery box where I'm only getting the same legendaries, if I'd stuck through it, I would have got Ho-Oh, Lugia, Groudon, Kyogre, and I missed out. I thought, oh, I'm never going to see him. Well, Giovanni now has the legendary Pokemon and finally got Ho-Oh. Even though Shadow, I'm happy with that. I'm going to purify it soon so I can say I rescued it, you know, I saved Ho-Oh from being possessed, and I can't wait for Lugia because that's my Pokemon. Pokemon Silver was my game, whereas Pokemon Gold was Luke, and just so happy I'm finally that closer to completing the Kanto Pokédex, and yeah, just need Lugia and I think 6 more Pokemon. Mind you, there's that event coming up. I've actually got a ticket for it, the Go Safari or July Fest, if I remember. I'm actually off for it that day, so I'm going to spend the entire day going around because they're saying on Sunday raids are going to feature all legendary Pokemon, so hopefully me and Luke can capture, one of each. And of course, I've now caught Celebi. Technically already caught it. Got the shiny one because I just got back in for that Team Rocket event where you get the shiny Celebi, but this Pokemon, I've had those tasks going for 4 years, ever since the task got brought in, because I was just stuck on the make 3 friends quest, and at the time the friends that I was friends with, I already invited them, and the people I know either quit Pokemon Go or never played it, so I didn't want to say, oh, can you just make an account so I can add you? I thought, no, I'm not going to do that. If I meet someone in my life that has it, I'll add them, but it just never happened. I finally gave in and went onto a site where it's updated like within seconds of everyone posting friend codes, and I just said, fuck it. You. Add. Finally got through it. Finally did all the tasks. Finally completed it. Now I can just move on to the other tasks that I need to get completed, and just finally happy to, just complete that one because it was just bothered me every time. And yeah, once again, I'm that much close to completing the the Johto League Pokédex, and yeah, so close. Almost forgot another one. Minecraft, I got back into that as well. I'm just working on, I'm not working on the Spencer, funny enough, whereas Neil Villager, I'm not working on the Spencer Mansion, I'm working on my house because I've been so slack with it that I'd never really finished it, and I finally got my water feature that I want to get done. I should record a bit of footage actually, and I'm rebuilding my shed because it's just in the way, the other one, and yeah, just I don't have enough room for all the stuff that I got, so I've moved it somewhere else, and yeah, just chipping along with that. Just another fun game to jump in when I'm bored and just fancy just chilling back with a game. And yeah, I need to do some more of the Spencer Mansion and record another KayneTopia episode at some point. Oh, almost finished. This is going to be a quick one. Got back into AEW. Yeah, had a bit of a break from that, and yeah, I'm comfortable with it now. I'm actually happy to watch it now. Normally what I do is I'll watch it while I'm editing something, so I'm following it, and if it's something really good I won't edit and I'll just watch. But yeah, I'm still a little bit with this whole storyline with Impact. I just wish a company was the company, not this sort of how do I put it, I have to watch Impact to understand the full story, if that makes sense. But apart from that, I've been pretty happy with it. I really love Miro's title run with the TNT Championship at the moment. I love that he's facing people that aren't sort of how do I put it? Not so much WWE people, but AEW people like Brian Pillman Jr. That was a really good match. I enjoyed it. It was just nice to see someone fresh that isn't the Bucks, Kenny Omega, John Moxley. See, Lance Archer I'm disappointed with because they've put him in this angle where he's squashing jobbers again. Like, we already know how much of a badass he is. I really like him. Can you put him in a program already? Why do we need to, him rushing out, destroying someone within seconds and then leaving? I mean, you said you wanted to be different than WWE. Well, you're looking pretty similar again. So enough of that. I want to see, proper matches with him, because him and Brian Cage, I really love at the moment. They're like my top guys in that in the business, and I want to see more of them, doing proper matches. Because oh shit, there's another burp. Brian Cage has the FTW Championship, and I'm looking forward to that match where he defends it against Ricky Starks. Ricky Storks. I gotta say it every time. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And another thing I'm getting miffed with is so many factions. Can't we just have singles competition? Why does everyone have to be in a faction? So that's my few little nitpicks, but apart from that, I'm I'm happy to watch again. Like, I'm comfortable with it. So, it's like balanced at the moment. Negatives, good stuff. If we can just get the good stuff going up again, be pretty good. Saw the video of the new gameplay footage. Here comes the pain. Looking really good. Tell you what, no collector's own haul, but you know what I did finish? Jurassic Park, and holy shit, I forgot Hammond dies in the book. And I tell you what, I mean, it didn't feel... You felt kind of glad in a way because he was such a dick compared to the movie version. I mean, there was the moment where he fell down... I mean, he was very, Stark in Lost World. Fell down the hill and then got killed by compies. But there was just a few moments where the kids were messing with his speaker and he's like, these fucking kids are annoying. God, why did I bring them here? This is stupid. And it's like, well, I'm glad you're not going to make it, you old bastard. But, yeah, I'm glad that's the one thing they did change. John Hammond being... See, in the book, he's very money hungry. I don't give a shit what happens. As long as I'm making money, I don't care. Whereas the movie version, he was just blind by delusion that he had this... he had control over his creations that he wanted to share with the world, and in the end, it just backfired on him. So, yeah, I'm just finally glad I got through the book. It's been, I've never read it before, and it's, a little bit embarrassed that I haven't, and now I can finally say I did, and I cannot wait to read Lost World. Watched a movie recently, and I've had this in my collection since 2013. I can't remember when I bought it. I just watched You're Under the Rest, the motion picture, and I didn't realize at the time it's an anime and a manga, and I really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun with this movie. I just don't know why it took me so long to watching it. It was last Friday. I just said to myself, I fancy watching a movie rather than something TV related, and I saw that and I thought, it's time to watch it, and really good. It was very... What's the words? Very comforting, and I can't think of the word. Like, very, fucking hell. I can't think of the word. Wholesome in a way. It was very fun, really enjoyable. I love the characters. The humour was just top notch, and, when there's a serious moment going on, I mean, the police station gets taken over by this group, and they don't have firearms, they have paintballs, so they're shooting the dudes with paintball bullets, and they end up shooting these party balloons that they had for someone to welcome them back, and distracts them, and yeah, it was just very, very funny and enjoyable, and I want to watch the anime now, and I haven't been able to find it to watch anywhere, so I'm going to keep my eye out for it, and yeah, really fun. If you want, it was just nice change of anime, because normally I watch very intense anime. The recent one I can think of is what was it? Attack on Titan season 3 I just watched, or season 2? Can't remember, the recent one, not the recent one that's just come out, the final season, the one before that, and yeah, it's a very intense anime, so it was nice, a nice change of pace, that no one's dying and no one's getting their guts ripped out. It was, just really fun. Last but not least, I forgot to mention this in my previous episode, and I'm glad I did miss it, because I had a bit of a change of pace with it. I worked on a few of my drawings, especially the last couple of days since the lockdown. I just really sort of just sat down, a bit of drawing, and my Vampirella's almost finished. I'm just adding a few touches, and I'm ready to sort of start inking her. Jill Valentine, my redraw of her, I haven't done anything, but my Red Sonja, I've been working at this on this one for a few months, and I don't know what it was. So the picture you're looking at now was the last time I posted a update, and I said I'm really happy with how it's looking, but then when I went back in a few days ago, I just looked at her and I thought, why can't I just be happy with the way she looks? It's just, I don't know what it was. Every time I looked, it's like 1 minute, don't like her, changed it a little bit, added a twist to her, like the recent one, I had some bright sort of neon lights in her sort of shadow parts of the, the drawing, and I thought, oh, that looks awesome, I'm happy. But now it's like, oh, I couldn't figure out what was wrong. Like, I've hit that wall again where I just don't know what to do to fix her. And I just thought, I was even saying, look, yeah, I can't figure out what's wrong. What is it? So then yesterday, or the day before, I think it was because I was going to do something, but then I couldn't. I think because of the lockdown, I couldn't go to the comic shop. Or I was going to record... I think I was going to record Kayne's bedtime, but I just wasn't sort of feeling it. I had a... No, So, just going back. So, the Saturday or the Friday, because we couldn't go anywhere, I just decided to just sit on my chair. I was watching through Punisher Season 2, ate my weight in Chinese food, and it was just like, you know, just enjoying myself and, you know, all that stuff. And I thought, I wasn't in the mood for recording because it was just very... I fancy drawing. So I thought, right, fuck it. Bring up the Red Sonja drawing. Let's have a look at her. I took all the colour away. I thought, right, let's just go back to the inking stage. Let's just get rid of the colour, start from scratch. Because I thought, I don't want to... I'm happy with how she is, but there's just something not right with her that I'm just not happy with. So let's sort of go through it, you know, start working on her. I finally figured out what the problem was. My style has changed. I was sort of going with a sort of Western style for my drawings, you know, like DC, Marvel. When I was drafting Vampirella and Jill Valentine, somewhere along those moments, my style drastically changed. I'm now sort of drawing like manga and anime style. And here's my recent picture of her. Now, if you look at the previous version, it was very... Like, she was very, sort of Marvel and DC style look. I am so happy with her now that I've changed her. I love how the hair looks now. I love her eyes and her mouth and everything. Once I changed all that, got her sort of in that position and coloured her hair, I was like, there it is. There it is. That's the problem. My style changed as I was working on her compared to my Jill Valentine one, which is the recent draft. And I'm like, there it is. Finally got over the wall. And now, I mean, today I was just working on her armour. I mean, I originally started off when I got back into drawing, I just wanted bold colours. And once again, I was going back to the style that I didn't like, where I was sort of, you know, painting rather than blotch, 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 blotch to really bring it out. I mean, if you're looking at the hair at the moment, it's 2 layers, 3 layers. The base red, then the rough sort of inking of the edges, and then a shadow layer. And I'm just so happy with her now. And I cannot wait to get her finished. So I didn't change everything. I'm keeping the body. The body's fine. It was just the head. It just looked too out of proportion in a way. And now that I fixed her, I'm just excited. I really want to jump back in right after this to start working on her. So very happy now. It was that moment where I thought, fuck it. Get rid of the colour. Start from sort of, you know, redo everything. Because when I first started drawing way back in 2010, because when I went to TAFE in 2009, they didn't have multimedia classes, you know, game design, drawing, art stuff. It was just IT stuff, and most of us failed it because it just wasn't what we wanted. We ended up getting it back, and when got the drawing tablet going and started learning how to draw, my style was very anime-like and manga-like. The hair was all pointy, you know, very sort of bright colour-like, and at the time I was big on anime, watching shows like Claymore, Rosario Vampire, Black Lagoon, and that was the style I loved. And somewhere down the track, I just, you know, especially with class, it was like I had to move away from that. I had to learn to draw in the Western style way, and it's come full circle now. I've come back, and that's, I mean, if you look at my first Jill Valentine drawing, the style is there, but for some reason I started to change again. But now I'm back to where I was, and happy to keep going from there. The Red Sonja drawing is going to be the drawing I look back to now. I said that with the Terminator drawing and the Tifa drawing, but now she is the one that's going to be the motivation that if I get stuck again. Just so happy to finally be over this block, and it's taken me like 4 months to finish her off, and yeah, very happy, very good. Cannot wait to get back in and just start adding more to it, because my favourite part, see, I love the hair now. I love the hair so much. My favourite part is the chainmail. It's just the way I've done it. It's just so cool, and that was definitely not going to change. And I'm still struggling with the sword, but now that I'm sort of in a good place with how I want it, hopefully I can get it done, and cannot wait for the finished version, and yeah, get it all uploaded and say I'm finally finished. Alrighty everyone, that is an end to this episode. Kayne's Bedtime. Had a lot to talk about, had a lot to catch up on, but hopefully now it won't be so long between each episode, because yeah, it was mainly because of Resident Evil Village. I wanted to finish that first, but it took me so long to get through it. But yeah, we'll end it there. Thank you all for watching, and yous all have a good night. Fucking got it this time.